Oh, Lordy, 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 Todd. This is what happens when you give a man a chance sometimes. A man that does not deserve you. Listen, Kandi is a beautiful woman. Okay. Maybe Todd didn't feel that way based off the way he was always obsessing about her RHOA co star, Portia, instead of his own wife. But to me, she's a very beautiful woman who has taken such good care of herself. She's such an intelligent woman as well. Cough, cough. That some other people can't say. And in my opinion, that counts for a lot, and that goes very far. She's so generous. She was buying him blinged out Rolexes, 6-figure cars, all sorts of things, right? And on top of that, she was letting him slang that D around Atlanta with her permission. Yet he still allegedly decided to do some of that without her permission. Listen, God bless you guys with these open relationships, open marriages, and whatnot. But please, please, please think long and hard about it, because one thing about some people, you give them an inch, right? Especially if they only have 1 inch and they need something to help blow up their ego, they will take a damn mile. And this is a classic example of that. It also reminds me of Paula Patton, Robin Thicke. That man was allowed to do anything he wanted, right? And he is a freaky frog. And she was allowing him to do like anything, but with her permission. And what did he do? Something without her permission. Allie says Todd was trying to pull a Wendy Williams ex-husband, that nonsense Kevin business, right? He really thought that he was going to pull one over on our girl Kandi. Listen, one thing about Kandi is she does not play about her money. So I don't think he's going to be able to get away with what he's trying to, right? To eliminate or invalidate that prenup. Shelby says, when you open your bedroom, is it really such a surprise when someone goes rogue? Exactly. I don't believe in this type of stuff. You guys already know that. I am a prude. I am. I was about to make a joke. Missionary only with the lights off, 30 seconds. No, I'm joking. But I am a prude about this sort of open bedroom, all this other type of stuff. I don't believe in it. You hear too many stories about like the guy pretty much always, right? Running off with one of the people that you've opened your bedroom to, or just a random person, because they now, they have just been doing that, thinking and fantasizing about people openly and screwing other people who aren't you. And it's just, I don't know. I don't think it's a good precedent to set, but I digress. Kelly says, so Aunt Bertha was right all along. It was a plot and a scheme. Remember her signature thing. And he absolutely does give K-Fed vibes. Listen, he wants all that child support money. And if he can get more child support in another state, just know that he is going to be fighting to be able to pick up those kids, go to another state, and get some more damn money. Oh, Lord have mercy. Short man with a big head. And now look at him. His head from big to bigger. So let's get into this story. So People magazine is the one that first came out and said, and I quote, Kandi and Todd had been having marriage troubles for a while now. Kandi was not happy because she found out that Todd had been talking to other women behind her back. She had no idea. And so, I wonder if he was trying to use one of those gaslighting excuses, like, oh, I wasn't doing this behind your back, or I'm allowed to sleep with other women, remember? I was just trying to recruit her and see if you like her, like that sort of a vibe. I would not put it above him to be trying to play with her mind, right? In order to make her feel like it's acceptable that he's running around talking to other women. Kandi has slowly but surely been opening up a little bit more about the demise of her marriage. In fact, just yesterday, she posted a reel which entailed a bunch of photographs of herself, friends, family, over the past year or so, and a caption that explains all of the inner turmoil that she had been going through, despite her big smile in all of these photos and her just showing up and out to be out there to support her people, her village, right? So this is one of the photos that you see in the reel that she posted, and the caption says, and I quote, "This is what I look like when I'm going through something. I show up for my family. I show up for my friends. I show up to handle my business. And I show up with a smile, all while on the inside, I'm emotionally broken. In every pic of this video, I was internally dealing with something life-changing that most of the people in the pics with me had no clue of my inner stress and sadness." That's really heartbreaking. The idea that she was dealing with all this and pretty much nobody knew, that's so devastating. This is not being fake. This is just how I deal with things. I internalize and deal with it alone. I am the poster child for the saying, check on your strong friend, because you never know what they are going through. I normally don't like to share stuff like this, but I was listening to this old song that I wrote years ago and felt like it perfectly described how I feel. Listen, Kandi. I love me some Kandi, y'all. I love me some Kandi. So it's really sad to see her in this state. She's such a loving, kind, and listen, this is in my imagination of her because I don't personally know her, but just based off of what I've seen about her over the years, she's such a fair, kind, loving, supportive, just wonderful person. She treated that man like gold. Granted, she allowed her mom to talk some ish about him and his mama, right? And his daddy. However, she was really nice to him personally, right? She was making it rain on Todd, all that stuff. And, she really leveled up his whole entire life. Todd's life would not at all look anywhere near what it looks like today if he didn't marry Kandi, right? All that time he spends in the glam room, speaking on women's business, arguing with women, that's all thanks to Kandi's money. If he was relying on his own money, he would have had to be at work. And to think that she gave him all of that, upgraded his entire life, everything, allowed him to screw other women with her permission and participation, and he still allegedly ran out there and cheated. Oh, that's crazy. Absolutely crazy. And Kayla, I do agree. It is kind of giving he cheated. I'm sorry, Kandi. I hate this for you, girl. I really, really do. Gwen says, heading into the bushes. Well, thanks for meeting us from outside the bushes, B. And Gwen, and good luck to your cat. That sounds really scary, the IV fluids. East Awesome says, guys, Todd Tucker doesn't cheat. However, Marvin Tucker, his alias, does cheat all through the Atlanta street. Shout out to Big Portia for warning us years ago. And one thing about Portia is, to me, I see her like Giselle, people who just lie just to lie. You know what I mean? So I never saw her as trustworthy. But now the more stories that come out, the more I'm looking at Todd, or should I say Marvin, sideways, right? Because where there's smoke, there is some sort of fire. And this just isn't looking good. There's too many sources. There was the Us Weekly source. Now we're going to get into Funky Dineva soon after I get into some of you guys' comments. Shelby made a really apt comment here, and I want to know how you guys feel about it. She's asking, if you don't let people in, are they really your village? It sounds like an island. And I think that's a fair point, right? Not to judge the people in Kandi's world, right? Because I don't know, like maybe they would have been people who would have been there for her, rallied around her and everything, but it's just not in her nature or something like that to open up in that way, right? Evie says, looks like her mom sniffed out Todd from the very beginning. And I think so too. Do you guys think that she actually really saw him as a user, or she just saw him as a threat to her money? Because the Mama Joy is, truth be told, is the biggest user in Kandi's world, right? Like she, again, is the woman who was allegedly opening up credit cards and everything in that woman's name, right? So I don't trust Mama Joyce either. Just saying. BY says, Kandi asked the court for a gag order, to prevent Todd from being using the media against her. I had no clue about that, BY. Thanks so much for the tea. Dang, I didn't know. Wow. So I wonder if she's going to try to get some of these divorce documents sealed or anything like that, because a lot of information is coming out through their own court filings, right? Because as of now, they are somewhat public. Princess says, I really don't know what she saw in him. Like something seems off. I think it was desperation. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's so scary, right? Because when you watch the special and you see how badly this man did not want to sign that prenup, how he tried every single trick and scheme he could to get out of signing it, you go, why is that? It's not your money that's on the line. So why are you so stressed out about this damn prenup? Why are you so against it, right? You say you're not here for her money, yet you seem mighty, mighty, mighty concerned about it. Farrah says he might be able to get alimony too, right? And I think this is something that Kandi wrote into the prenup, that she didn't want any of the alimony stuff. She said, none of us are getting alimony. We're all leaving with what we came with. And then we're sharing everything that we made in the marriage. And I thought that the stuff that they did in the marriage, like the plays, the restaurants, all that stuff, I thought that they were somewhat lucrative for this man to be able to live a pretty decent life without having to do all this. You know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy to me that like he's open, like, trying to chase after this woman's money. It's so, so sad. Star says, men never have pure intentions when asking for custody. It's always to get back, i.e. Tawanda's husband and my sister's dad. I do hear about this a lot. I hear a lot about like men asking for custody to kind of punish the mom, and then like not following through, not showing up to court, or maybe they'll have more time with the kid, or the mom will just say, okay, because they know that the man's going to turn back around and be like, actually, like, this is a bit too much work. You go ahead. You got this, boo, sort of a thing, right? Dime Piece says, I wonder how Todd got caught. That's a good question. I did hear a story about him getting a little bit brazen with it, having a woman on his lap in a hotel lobby or something like that. But don't quote me because, again, that was just a rumor and I can't even tell you where I heard that rumor. Princess says, I wonder if they have a clause that if you cheat, you don't get ish. I hope so. I truly, truly hope so. I think every single prenup should have that, right? Because sometimes women cheat too, right? So I think anybody in a marriage, whatever, if this marriage is to fall apart because you cannot keep it in your pants, you're running around screwing other people and whatnot, you don't get a damn thing. I think that that is absolutely fair, right? Or you have to fork over a certain amount of money. Now, you guys, I did say that Funky Dineva put out a story or some teasers about what exactly is going on with Todd, the alleged mistress and everything. So go ahead. I've got a video clip. I want you guys to take a look. Keep on leaving your comments in the live chat. I'll be posting them up and getting back to you after the video. And don't forget to give this one, the stream, a like if you're enjoying it, okay? Catch you on the flip side.
Let's do a couple things. Y'all can stop it with the Todd got somebody pregnant rumor. Todd had a vasectomy very early on in their relationship. Okay. That's a little bit of tea. I don't know if I was supposed to tell that or not. Todd ain't got nobody pregnant. Now, Todd was around somebody's house. Okay. And I got her pictures. I know where she stay. And I know her name. But I don't want to bring no extra stress and duress around Kandi house. So I'ma hold it. I'ma hold it. Her name start with a H. You home wrecking whore. Because I want you to know I know who you is. And here's the thing. If I know who you are, and if the information got to me, it's only a matter of time. I'm giving it by next Wednesday before your face is plastered all over the internet. So, Miss H, you might want to get your ducks and your story in a row, because the way the internet is finna come eat you alive over Kandi Burruss, you gonna wish you never even winked at that man. Okay? Now, out of respect, with a K and not a T, out of respect, I ain't gonna want to be the one to break it because I don't know what all going on around them people's house. And I don't want to add no extra stress around this lady house. Plus, I already done broke the internet this week. I don't need to break the internet no more. Let somebody else break it. But the people is saying Kandi reportedly discovered that Todd was communicating with women behind her back before filing for divorce, and she had no idea. And the headline, according to the way the information done flooded out my email box, the headline ain't lying.
Damn, y'all. So there you go. More people coming forward and accusing Todd of having an affair on Kandi. So I saw a comment. Let me go pull it up, okay? Evie was asking if it's Hazel. I guess you mean Hazel E from Love and Hip Hop. I would hope not. But them royalty streets are very narrow. So sometimes you might have to run into some people you know, right? I would hope not. I do remember seeing Hazel E's name pop up recently about her own breakup or something that she was going through. So I don't think that she would have been the one with Todd. Correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't she going through some kind of marriage divorce stuff of her own or whatever, and in her own kind of entanglement to where she wouldn't have time for Todd? But I'm not sure. Maybe, I don't know. But listen, there's so many names that start with the letter H. There's Hannah, there's Helena, there's Helga, there's there's a lot of names that start with a letter H. So it really could be, anybody. East Awesome says, Todd doesn't have anything to lose. He agreed to take on half of all of the debt from business losses and all but one restaurant shut down. Todd will need premarital assets to break even. For real, this MFing scam. Well, you know what? That is a good point. The restaurants have been shut down after dealing with their own fair share of lawsuits prior to shutting down. I didn't know that he had agreed to take on like the losses and could have had to come out of pocket for that. Just based off the image that Kandi has been presenting, I see as a really generous person who would have just paid all that stuff off, knowing that Todd ain't got it like that, you know what I mean, to be paying off those debts. But we'll have to wait and see as this stuff plays out in the divorce. But it's a very, very interesting theory. East also says 3+ closed restaurants equals tons of debt and on large expenses. Todd's net worth is $400K. And I do agree. If he had to take on like those L's on his own as well, or his own fair share, that could be a lot. But don't forget, like restaurants, I believe they are LLCs or whatever. So like, you listen, I don't know how these things work in the US, but isn't there a way to structure these sorts of businesses so if they go bankrupt or if they fail or whatever, it doesn't really impact you that much. You're not having to go pay out of pocket like completely or anything like that. Y'all let me know, okay? Another comment from East was about how Todd had it made: unlimited threesomes, room and board. He only had to pay utilities, unlimited access to small business investments, paid nanny, lavish vacations. He was living the dream. Exactly. He does not know how good, he didn't know how good he had it. And he is about to find out, especially if he fails at getting access to Kandi's money, right? Her premarital assets and everything. If he fails to get access to that, he's going to feel it real hard. Right? That loss of Kandi and her wallet. Bunny says, Kandi was too nice to Todd. I would never indulge a man like she did with Todd. She gave him money, cars, and trips alone. His birthday gifts were extravagant. And I agree. This is the hard part. When you as a woman make it to a particular level in life, right? Like, and you're trying to date, you're trying to find love and everything. Like, it's hard to find somebody on your level, right? And then, you find somebody who's got like some level of success, but it's not on your level. And so, unfortunately, when you get into those kinds of relationships and dynamics, you're the one who has to come out of pocket to kind of compensate for the income disparity between the two of you guys, which is brutal. It's brutal. It really, really is. Honestly, I feel for her. I truly, truly am heartbroken for her. She seems to be going through it. You never see or hear her talking about her emotions on this level, and she is letting it all hang out right now. I think that once the divorce finalizes, she is going to do like a speak on it sort of episode to really dig into what happened without sharing too much information, right? More H names: Helen, Hillary, something. There are so many H's out there. I hope it's not. I hope it's not Hazel E. Oh, okay. Y'all are saying Hazel, who was on RHOA. I do not remember a Hazel on RHOA. I'm going to have to go ahead and take a look at that. Okay. I should listen. I'd be singing that too. Cause what do you mean? I let you do anything you want. And you still manage to find a way to cheat. You know how hard it is to cheat when you have permission to be screwing other people? Like, you have to go very far out of your way to disrespect somebody on that level. You know what I mean? And so if that is the case, then I am totally, totally behind Kandi deciding to like call it quits with him, because that is some serious BS. Because what do you mean? What do you mean? You can do pretty much anything, and you're still gonna play me. So Hazel, I'm seeing, is that she's married to an NBA player, Draymond Green or something like that? That's the one y'all are talking about. Hang on, let me share my screen, okay, you guys? Listen, again, this is me breathing a sigh of relief because I am happy. Sorry to anybody named Helen, but this comment made me laugh so hard. Kahara said, Helens are trifling. It's got to be a Helen. That is hilarious. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen because I'm seeing a Hazel when I type Hazel RHOA. Again, I really do not remember seeing this girl on the show, but they're saying she's married to a certain Draymond Green. She is a very beautiful. I see her with I see her with Kenya over here. Is that the one that y'all are talking about? That could be a chick. But she's married. Why would she be trading up a tall NBA player for Todd? That I'm having a hard time with that. I got to say, y'all. East also said Todd and Kandi agreed to share profits and losses equally 50-50. They were doing that before marriage. I recently rewatched the 5-part wedding special on Peacock. Listen, I'm so close to finishing. I got to finish that. Thanks so much for reminding me. I was so burnt out yesterday. I was supposed to go back to the gym, but I just couldn't even move. We wound up going to a little pizzeria up the street. We were supposed to go to this African restaurant. Y'all know I love me some African food. I wanted some loco, so fried plantains, but I was so tired I couldn't even do that. I was like, all right, we'll get some damn pizza. Oh, Lord have mercy. This is so brutal. Again, Kandi, I really feel for you, especially if this stuff is true. This is terrible. Becky says he used to know he had it made. His ego took over and he thinks he's bigger than Kandi. Loser. And I agree. You saw like the venom, you saw the vitriol, you saw the jealousy, you saw the bruised ego in all of those lame ass, what do you call it? Those videos they were posting on, from those glam room conversations. Like, what the hell is a man doing in a glam room criticizing women all day? You know what I mean? Like, go get a damn job. Like, this is so freaking weird. Why did he even want to be in there talking to them all day, every day? Like, it's just such loser behavior. I'm sorry, but go find something to do. Damn. You guys, anyway, I'm going to continue to keep an eye on this story. Funky did say that more information about the alleged mistress was probably going to come out by the middle of next week. So stay tuned. We will eventually be finding out who this alleged mistress is, okay? Trust and believe. One thing about that internet is they know how to find anybody. Even if you just show like a little corner of your pinky nail, someone will be able to track you down and find out everything about you, including your blood type and your social security number.